Greetings, this is the Get To Free Press, and I'm George Foster Rhines, and I am standing in front of the Rainwater Conference Center. There's a meeting that will take place. I was called to this meeting because someone was interested in a personnel issue, and so I want to thank the person that called me and asked me to come to record this meeting. I understand that it possibly is dealing with social media, something that was placed on either Facebook or something like that. But regardless of how it may be or what it may be, I just want to say to you here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, and the state of Georgia that under our form of government, the citizens have a right to know, and that's why the Get To Free Press is here today. I do not believe that the people here in Valdosta should be left in a state of ignorance. And if what I have been told, and I'm supposed to be getting more information on it, and you all know me, if your local news media outlets will not report what needs to be published to the general public, we as American citizens have a right to step up to the plate and get it done. After all, when the young men of this nation turn 18, they have to register with their state or federal government requirements, and they must fill the square. And so if our young men and women are obligated to do certain things by law, then it's only fitting that the Associated Press keep a check on our government agencies. So we can ensure that our children and coming generations will enjoy the rights and privileges that some Americans enjoy. We know that some Americans have been denied many of their rights. And so, yet when this nation called for them, they gladly meet the needs, and they go on foreign battlefields to defend this nation against both foreign and domestic enemies, like I did. I served during the Vietnam era, and I did 21 years, and I just believe in open government. And so I'm going to ask you to go in with me, and let's listen to our government body as they conduct the business on behalf of the tax-paying citizens here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia. And this is the Get To Free Press, and of course I'm George Foster Rhines, and we report what others ignore. Let's go in and let's enjoy the meeting.
Special called meeting of the Valdosta Lowndes County Conference Center and Tourism Authority is called to order. Based upon the authority's authorization of our last meeting, I am asking for approval of the hiring of Frank Simons as the interim executive director of the Valdosta Lowndes County Conference Center. And we will, upon this authority's approval, contract with Frank for a period of 120 days as interim executive director. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Note that Indy had no. That motion is carried. All right, is there any further business that we would like to discuss? All right, if there is no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Wait just a second. I'd like to say something to the board.
Sure thing.
My name is FLOYD Rose. I just have some questions and I don't care who answers. One is, what will Tim Riddle be doing now? Anything at all?
In regards to the conference center?
Yes.
You know, Floyd, we have agreements that we have signed, and some of those matters are personnel and they're confidential. But Tim is no longer as the executive director of this
I
conference center.
understand that. Will he be involved in any way with the conference?
He will not be out on this property with the conference center. He may, and I just, full disclosure, Floyd, if I have a question that we have a client that is saying, you know, they used to do ads here at the conference center, if I need to call him, for the good of the business of the conference center, yes, I would call to ask the question.
Okay. How many black directors do you have here?
Right now, we have 4 directors, and none of them are out.
No black directors, is that right? Have you ever had a black director here?
I have been with the
I want to
conference
say
center.
something right now. This is outside the scope of this meeting. This meeting is a special call meeting to approve the contract. And as I understand it, you are going to meet with Reverend Rose after this meeting. So I think at that time,
And I can
those questions
answer
might be
That's
appropriate.
fine, I didn't know that was her whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay?
Yeah, and I can answer those questions then. All right, I think we had a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All right. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. All right, the motion is carried. Thank you.
Welcome on board, Chief.
Forward order. Good luck.
That's fine. Yeah. I make it that I have to have all my water for the day, and then I can have my soda. We're gonna go to the conference room, is that okay? No, excuse me. Huh?
Good morning.
Actually, I'm just getting back from vacation. Went to see my folks.
Well, they switched me to business recently, so I got to go to a lot of authority.
Got it.
appreciate y'all coming out here. Tara. Hey, girl, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Good, how are you? And we talked in the meeting, and I told them that I had not seen anything or heard anything that Tyler did that was worthy of her termination. Absolutely nothing. And where did he go? He was in there. And he asked a very pointed question, and he'll tell you that, thank you, sir, but I didn't bite my tongue because I don't believe, okay, bye-bye. And she said she's going to fix it. She's going to fix it.
And I try to pin it down to a time point, 120 days, which they're giving Chief Sim to, he's on the temporary, that's one of the point I wanted to make. Like, so she says she's going to do her best to do it. Then I'll fix it in 120 days.
Tim, what's the guy name? Simon is just there temporarily. He's not a permanent director. He's just there to try and get people together that's out here, but he has no experience in tourism or nothing like Tyra had. No, absolutely no. So, and I appreciate you being in there. He'll tell you that I was straight. Oh yeah, straight with
We know. We know.
I'm white folks, and y'all have to understand that we are all the sons and daughters of slaves, and they are the sons and daughters of slave masters. And even sometimes when they want to feel what we feel, they just can't. They can't. And I'm telling the chief in there, let me tell you how this is going to look to the black community. First of all, black folks come out here, more black folks come out here and use this center than anything else. And when you always got white directors, everybody out here at the top is white. Everybody, they didn't deny that. I said, how you think that looks? So, anyway.
So are they anticipating on hiring another African American?
I don't know. They said they're going to hire the most qualified person, but I'm going to be in touch with her, and I'm going to make sure they do what's right.
But that was incorrect, but most qualified, because she was qualified to do the 120 days.
That's right.
So I mean, you know, that's
My question was the timing of the whole thing. It didn't look right because now you got a person that already doing the work, and all of a sudden now you got to open it for a top position, and now you don't find the person that could take the ladder and go up. The timing of the whole thing stinks.
What they should have done was just move Tyra up, even if it was temporary. Move her up. Really got somebody.
Bro, may I ask you one question before we go?
You ask me anything you want.
Okay, what title or organization do you represent now? For so long,
People's Tribunal.
you have been a keystone in the community. So you all are transitioning, or what's the status of that, if you don't mind stating?
Well, we're in the process now of getting the required tax ID number. Now, let me explain to you why I'm telling him this. For about the last 8 years, we've been heading up the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, which is a chapter of Dr. Martin Luther King's civil rights organization. However, they have not been here, and they wanted money to come here, and I said no, because they have never done anything for us, and we did better when we didn't need them. They came here and asked me to dissolve the People's Tribunal into the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, a chapter of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and we did that for them, not for us.
And if you don't mind, let's back up a little bit. And why did the People's Tribunal, why was it set up in the first place?
It was set up to fight for civil rights, human rights. A young man, 47 years old, was killed in the Lowndes County Jail back in 1947. He was stopped on 1997. And he was stopped on South Lee Street on the wrong side of the road looking for an address. And less than 25 hours later, he was found dead. His neck was broken, his ribs were cracked, and he was lying in his own vomit dead. And George and Alma Williams contacted me, and we got involved in that. And That's what happened.
Okay. If I may, anybody have any statement in terms of why did you come out here today? What was your purpose in coming out here today? Anybody want to comment on that? Just support Rose or just to support the cause or anything?
Yes, we came to support Tyra.
Okay.
That's what we came
The
to
young
support.
lady that was terminated, am I correct?
I think it's important to show solidarity. You know, we just kind of, we always separate. We have to come together. When we come together, we're stronger.
Thank you all very much. That's what, thank you. This is the Ghetto Free Press, and we report what others ignore. Bye-bye. I'm down here at Serenity Church with the Reverend Floyd Rose, the pastor of Serenity, our senior servant, as well as the president of the People's Tribunal, a civil rights organization. Yesterday we went to the Rainwater Conference Center, and he was pretty vocal as a local pastor here concerning the problems in the community. Reverend Rose, we have already covered that, but short form, what was the gist and the highlight of you attending that meeting yesterday?
Well, I was concerned about the lack of blacks in director positions at the Rainwater. I've been here more than 21 years, and in those 21 years, every director they've had, and I think they've had at least 4, maybe 5 since I've been here, and they have all been white. And even now, all of the positions at the top are all filled with whites. Now, this city is 51% black, and for me at least, there's something wrong with that. And then when they fired Tyra Howard, I had some real concerns because I listened to the police chief, and I never heard anything that I felt that was worthy of termination that she had done. Absolutely nothing. But I'm not just telling you this. I told him this, and I told I believe her name is Miss Molly, who is a chairperson for the conference center.
Okay, you mentioned the chief of police, but what is his name? Let's get on record. What is his name?
His name is Brian Childress, and he and I are good friends, and I think he's a good and decent person, but I think on this one he missed it.
Okay, when I said in there yesterday, some people, I guess, was under the impression that the former chief of police would hold that position, but it's only temporary. Am I correct? Would you expound on that a little bit?
Yes, my understanding is that the former chief of police will be there for at least 60, maybe 90 days, no longer than 120 days, and he is he's acting as a director, but he's really not the director of the center. He's pulling together the people out there to make sure everything goes well.
What do you know about the black female that was terminated? What do you know about her credentials, or do you have any knowledge about her when she was first employed, maybe versus other people that was employed?
She was never interviewed for employment at the top. Whites have been in those positions ever since I have been here. I don't know, and an awful lot about Tyra, and I don't question some of the things that were said, some of the things she told me. However, she did absolutely nothing that warranted termination. My problem was twofold. One is that they waited until they needed to get rid of this white man, Tim Ritter, and then said, well, if you get rid of him, you're going to have to get rid of Tyra. My question is why? And if she was not doing her job, why did they wait until they were ready to fire Tim Ritter before they were going to do anything to Tyra? Now, I've got a real problem because the man that they put in Tim Ritter's place for a while at least has absolutely no experience and no knowledge of tourism, none. And yet they are paying him, they said yesterday, $10,000 a month for at least 3 months.
That former chief police Simon.
Yes, Simon. His name is Frank Simon, right.
What makes you do what you do? I mean, why did you have to be the voice to stand on this issue? Why Floyd Road?
It's not just this issue. Listen, I didn't come here to watch black folk mistreated. I'm not going to do it and say nothing or do nothing. And I don't speak for anybody but Floyd Road. I don't speak for members of the People's Tribunal, although they perhaps will follow me. I have not asked them to do so. I do what I do because I am first and foremost a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, a follower of Jesus, and it was Jesus who said, it is the truth that makes you free. And I'm going to follow the truth wherever and to whomever it leads, period.
When the member of the authority commented about the procedure by which the director, I guess, was responding to your question, he said that you was going to meet with her afterward and that the setting of a special meeting would not be the right format for you to address. Did you have prior knowledge of that? Because when he asked that question, some people gave a little snicker because he asked the question. And I guess people saying that the public have a right to know the answers to the question that you asked.
Well, the question that I intended to ask the board, I did ask in the private session. I did not know that was a special meeting called specifically to discuss Frank Simon. I did not know that. If I had been told that in the beginning, I would not have stood up and said what I said. I am respectful of rules and of laws, but you got to tell me. I'm not going to just sit out and watch you do something. If I have some concerns, I'm going to express them.
In closing, my last question is, you've been here a long time. Have you ever gone out to the conference center on other issues dealing with fairness and employment at that facility? Have you ever been out there before on any issue?
I have been out there before, along with Darren Neal, who is the lead investigator for me and for the tribunal. And it had to do with Marlene McDuffie. And I feel badly because I didn't do what I should have done then. I kept wanting to believe that these people would do what is right. And when I learned that Brian Childress, the police chief, was involved in this, I just knew everything would be right. And I have never been so hurt and so disappointed as I am now.
Once you went inside of the executive office there at the conference center, what was the flavor like in the room? What was it like?
Well, I went in there especially to talk with Molly, who is chairperson of the board. But when I got in there, it was the police chief who did most of the talking. He didn't do all of it, but he did most of it. And you know, I still have the highest regard and respect for him, but we just disagree. And it's all right to disagree without being disagreeable, but I think on this issue, he dropped the ball, and I think he was wrong.
You think he was wrong? Okay, what about his relationship with the Valdosta Times in terms of comments?
Well, two things bothered me. One was what I mentioned earlier, and the other one was he said in my presence that he had talked to the editor of the Times, and he looked at the reporter and said that the editor had, or he had asked the editor to make sure that the comments in that room were off the record. Well, I'm 78 years old, and I have been involved in civil rights for more than 50 years, and I have never, ever seen a public official, either appointed or elected, ever say that I have talked to your editor and told him that whatever we discussed was off the record, and it never appeared in the paper. A free press is supposed to be a free press, and you don't tell them what to write or what to say. I've never done it and would never do it.
Okay, when you say off the record, you mean that means it won't be published?
That's right.
Thank you very much. And Reverend Rose, with the changing from the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to the People's Tribunal, will your mission statement change, or will you pretty near stay along the same lines? And this will be my last question.
No, I will do as much now as I have always done. We were the People's Tribunal long before we were the Valdosta County chapter of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. We only accepted that because the president of the National Association came here and asked us to dissolve the People's Tribunal into the Valdosta County chapter of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. But our mission has not changed. In fact, we will have more independence and we'll be able to do more.
Thank you very much, Reverend Rose.
Thank you.
And wish you much success in whatever you do.
Thank you, sir.
Unless you're gonna stand up against the wrong, tell me how you're gonna ever stop being weak. Unless you make your mind up to be strong, you got to do right, walk in the light, it won't be long. There's no need of standing up for the right, unless you're gonna stand up against the wrong. Tell me how you gonna ever stop being weak, unless you make your mind up to be strong. You got to do right, walk in the light, it won't be long. Let me tell you now, it's easy hate your enemy, and it's just as easy to love your friend. But if you are gonna love like the Bible tells you, you got to let the love of God come in. You got to do right, walk in the light. It won't be long. Oh, don't you wanna love him better? Oh, don't you wanna love him more? Oh, can't you hear the Savior knocking? He keeps knocking at your door. You better make a haste to seek your maker before you have to meet with the undertaker. He will save you right now if you are willing. Can't you see the Bible is fulfilling? You got to do right, walk in the light. It won't be long.
Greetings, this is the Get to Free Press, and I'm George Post Rhines, and I am standing in front of the Rainwater Conference Center. There's a meeting that will take place. I was called to this meeting because someone was interested in personnel issues, and so I want to thank the person that called and asked me to come to record this meeting. I understand that it possibly deals with social media, something that was placed on either Facebook or something like that. But regardless of how it may be or what it may be, I just want to say to you here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, and the state of Georgia, that under our form of government, the citizens have a right to know. And that's why the Get to Free Press is here today. I do not believe that the people here in Valdosta should be left in a state of ignorance. And if what I have been told, and I'm supposed to be getting more information on it, and you all know me, if your local news media outlets will not report what needs to be published to the general public, we as American citizens have a right to step up to the plate and get it done. After all, when the young men of this nation turn 18, they have to register with their state or federal government requirements, and they must fill the square. And so if our young men and women are obligated to do certain things by law, then it's only fitting that the Associated Press keep a check on our government agencies, so we can ensure that our children will enjoy the rights and privileges that some Americans enjoy. We know that some Americans have been denied many of their rights, and so yet when this nation called for them, they gladly meet the needs, and they go on foreign battlefields to defend this nation against both foreign and domestic enemies, like I did. I served during the Vietnam era, and I did 21 years, and I just believe in open government.